So next escape. Sorry, I quite like escapes at the start. We'll get to some of the really nasty ones soon, I promise. Again, happened in the later years, just after the riot that occurred here in 1988. Now, I mentioned it very quickly to everyone except for my lovely people who came late. Do you know anything about the riot at all? No. 1988, took over 18 hours, started by 12 guys. They set most of the roof of the prison here alight, took 5 prison officers hostage. Luckily, no one was killed. So it could have been a heck of a lot worse than what it really was. Now, the biggest issue we have with the riot is that the fire truck that came on site, the very first one that was here to deal with the fire, came through the beautiful black gates we first entered. Didn't fit. Got stuck. The next trucks that arrived on site were behind this building trying to get water all the way across and onto the roof. A disaster. So, just in case anything ever like that happened again, we added in our southern gate. Brilliant! You put a hole in a prison wall. Great. 1988. Sorry, 1989, excuse me. 2 boys are working down at our prison hospital, known as Boyd and Burnett. Now they've noticed a pattern. At the same time every week, a rubbish truck will come through that gate, head down to the hospital. The rubbish truck driver will exit the cabin of the truck, going around the back to collect the rubbish, but will leave the keys in the ignition turned on so he can compact what he's putting into the truck. There's a truck with the keys in the ignition. You bet they go for it. The next week, the men jump the truck, reversing at full speed, aiming for this gate. Now, guide tail just over here up on the wall. Man inside it sees the rubbish truck reversing at full speed with the rubbish truck driver chasing behind it. He opens fire, calling out, "Stop or I will shoot," and engages. Now, our boys here on site are trained to do a non-lethal shot. If we cannot get a successful aim at arms or legs, you're not allowed to aim for the person. So instead, this man aims for the tyres. The rubbish truck barreling at full speed, it hits that gate, it buckles, it doesn't break. Second time, third time, fourth time they're out and down Hampton Road. But that prison officer's been such a darn good shot, 2 tyres have been popped. They get 750 metres down the road here before they abandon the truck, find a taxi, kick out the driver and head down south towards Yanjiba. Now they get pretty close when they start hearing the sirens catching up to them. First man, Boyd, jumps out of the car, runs into bushland trying to hide. Second man, Burnett, picks a suburban area, finds a house, breaks into it, finds 2 male occupants, grabs a kitchen knife, taking them both as hostage.
Shit.
Now Boyd, within about half an hour, he's recaught, brought back to prison. But Burnett, a little bit more difficult. Eventually the police receive a phone call from the second man who was taken hostage saying, "I've escaped, they've taken my mate, help me find them." The police are looking everywhere, they cannot find Burnett and his hostage. They call his parole officer asking where the hell this guy's hiding. And he goes, "Well, you know, all his mates live down in Albany. Actually, all his family live down in Albany."
They won't find him.
They decide on the off chance to create a roadblock, and sure enough, just over 3 hours later, the car pulls up to the roadblock, the passenger gets out and runs into the bushland. The driver gets out yelling, "That's your man, that's your man, go get him." It will take the police another hour and a half hunting through bushland before they manage to arrest Burnett and bring him back to prison. Now these men, for escaping, were given an additional 5 years to their prison sentence each. Burnett was just under 9 months from being released. Facing a whole new jail sentence, he ended up taking the ultimate escape. This man ended up taking his own life. But Boyd actually went on. He finished his sentence here and over at Casuarina, was released, and started an earth-moving business that, to my knowledge, is still operating in Perth today. Now, how I know this? 3 years ago, one of my colleagues was taking this tour, starts up the story, a man in the back says, "Shut up." He's like, "Excuse me?" He's like, shut up, I'm Boyd.
Oh.
Ah! Stops the tour, keeps on going, just ignores that story, catches up with him later, and sure enough, it's Boyd. He hasn't told his family. He marches straight up to management here saying, how dare you, you may not tell my story. And management's like, well, sorry, it was the front of every newspaper locally. It's in the public domain.
Yeah.
We can say what we want. So, yeah, just goes to show that there are all kinds of fun people living around here. Come on, Boyd.
Nice.